Good morning, everyone. It's the 7th day of Hanukkah, and tonight we will merit to kindle all 8 flames on the menorah. Now, the tallest candle on the entire menorah is the 9th candle, which is the shamash, which towers above the other 8 candles. And the question is, why does the shamash get to stand taller than all the other 8 candles? And what you'll notice tonight when you light all your 8 candles is that no 2 candles are alike. No 2 candles are identical. Each one dances in its own direction. Each one has its own unique light. Unlike stationary items, a flame represents the soul of man. As King Solomon says, the candle of God is the soul of man. And the flickering, dancing flames represent the souls of every one of us. And no 2 souls are alike. No 2 human beings are carbon copies. God made each one of us custom made. As someone said, you were born an original, don't die a copy. And therefore, when you look at the flames, it represents the idea that each one of us has our own unique individual expression in this world. And to kindle the flames of the menorah represents to ignite the souls and our own unique potential that we all carry within us. One of the connections between Hanukkah and children is that the word Hanukkah means to dedicate or to educate. Hanukkah is all about the rededication of the temple, but also dedicating our children to the service of Hashem through Jewish education, Torah, and mitzvahs. And therefore, the word Hanukkah means chinuch, education. And this is a very important principle in education. You know, Winston Churchill once said, we build institutions to facilitate our dreams, and then we become prisoners of those institutions. Sometimes in schools we expect all the children to be identical, to fit into the same neat little box. But we fail to recognize sometimes as parents that each child has their own unique light, their own candle of God, their own flame that dances in its own unique way. Some flames may seem larger, some smaller, but each one is meant to radiate its own unique light. And therefore we should never become prisoners of the institutions, but realize that the institutions were created for the children to be able to express their unique light. As the famous sculptor Michelangelo said, I see the angel in the stone, and I just chisel around the angel and free it. Our job as educators, as parents, as teachers, is to release that light, that flame within the child, and let it burn brightly. And that's why the shamash is the tallest candle, because the shamash is the servant candle. Its job is to kindle the other flames. And there's no greater honor, no greater privilege in life than to create that special flame within someone else, to be able to ignite the passion, the love, the inspiration within a child, to be able to educate them in a way that they could feel confident in expressing their own unique light, even though it may be different than someone else's. There's a story about this little kid. His name was Clint Pulver. And as a kid, he had this habit that he loved to tap on his desk during class. And it would annoy his other classmates. And his teacher would always tell him, Clint, stop tapping, stop tapping. And finally, one day, the teacher said, okay, go to the principal's office. And he went to the principal's office, and the principal said, why are you tapping? He says, I don't know, I have this urge to tap, to bang on the table. And the principal said, well, next time you have the urge, just put your hands, sit on your hands, put your hands underneath your legs. And so he went back to class, and when he had the urge, he put his hands underneath his legs, but that only worked for about a day or two. He went back to tapping, and finally, one day a teacher said to him, Clint, I want you to stay after class. And Clint thought to himself, okay, now I'm in real trouble. I'm going to maybe get kicked out of class, out of school. And after class, all the kids left, and the teacher called him over to his desk and said, Clint, I notice you have this habit of always tapping on the table on your desk. I want you to know you don't have a problem. What I think it is that God intended for you to be a drummer. And that's why your brain is always telling you to tap and make noises on your desk. And then the teacher opened his drawer and pulled out a set of drumsticks and handed it to Clint and said, I brought you this present, these drumsticks, because I want you to start learning how to play the drums. And Clint was so excited to get this pair of drumsticks, and he started by banging with drumsticks on containers turned upside down, and then he went to pots and pans, and before you know it, he got his first drum set. And today he's a world-class drummer. You could YouTube Clint Pulver, and you will see that he entertains in concert halls and has tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of views of his performances. And he contributes and attributes his success as a drummer to a teacher who didn't see him as a problem child, but saw him as a child who has a talent that's trying to be expressed. As Michelangelo said, the teacher freed the angel from within the marble stone. And that's what education is. That's what the kindling of the flames is. So tonight, when you light your menorah, think about your own unique flame that God gave you. How can you reach your potential? And think about the children in your lives. Think about others. And think about the shamash that stands the tallest. Because like that teacher who ignited the soul of his student, every one of us could be a shamash, a servant candle, a leader to help imbue others with the confidence, with the direction, with the ability to achieve their